How's it going, guys? Cop here. Today I wanted to go over the new Erika2 build that I've been playing. I did end up seeing another person named Meow Enjoyer who was playing a Chain Lightning build that he was showcasing that seemed to be pretty solid, have a pretty solid gearing, and it didn't seem very expensive, so I figured I'd give it a shot and kind of see what it takes to actually get it up and going. And from my testing, it's as good as it was, and I kind of put my own spin on things to make it a little bit more tanky. It's kind of the biggest focus. I figured it's an Erika build, it's going to have the damage. We don't need to worry about the damage, so let's actually focus on the survivability aspect of it. So for the most part, for the gear, what I've been focusing on is just trying to make sure I'm actually getting my ES up as much as I can. The biggest scalers on your damage here are going to be Curse Effect, because we are running a double Curse setup with Malevolent Hands. And then your just plus levels to Lightning, as well as just going to be like cooldown recovery speed for your Feline. And then you're just going for some wands. I just have some very generic wands yet. I haven't really landed on exactly what I want to be using on wands yet. I've been mapping with using Memory and Wiseman's Dagger, so I haven't decided on what I want to use for wands for bossing yet. It's probably going to be something like with cooldown recovery, with Curse Effect, things like that, but I haven't even bothered. I just started playing the character, so we're going to go from there. Starting off, the core things that you do end up actually really needing for the build in order to get started: you do need a Shattered Moonlight Helm chest. Getting one with higher max spell burst charge speed is nice, but it's not mandatory, so if you can't afford to get one that's like better, then just get the cheapest one available. It's perfectly fine. And then you are going to want one of these necklaces here with, you need the Immune to Shock Corruption here. It looks like they are only about 30 FE right now. Obviously, with the posting of this video, they are going to get more expensive. These Malevolent Hands gloves here, they are very, very expensive because, again, they're very, very good in regards to, like, they facilitate a lot of damage for you. They give a lot of defenses as well, with the minus 20% additional damage taken from cursed enemies, as well as giving you +1 curse. Alternatives to using these, you can just continue to use the Marksman's Bracers that you'll use while leveling, or you can use the Elemental Fusion gloves as well. Since those are going to be another thing you can basically be running instead, because the damage on those is going to be really, really nice as well. Sorry, Sage's Insight is what the gloves that I meant to say. These are, sub 10 FE as well. You should be able to hit with all 3 damage types. So you should be able to get this consistent minus 24% elemental resistances, along with the +1 elemental and the extra damage from these. So I recommend those if you can't afford this. Basically, in regards to the belt, I chose to go with the Light Hunter belt just for the defensive aspects of it. But feel free to run whatever you want. I've been running this, and I've found myself to be extremely tanky. I can do God of Might. I can kind of run around in that. I was able to do that in T8 no problem. I do have a little bit of deflection on my boots, because we're moving so much. Deflection just makes a little bit of sense. And then in regards to your resistances, because of one of the hero traits, we do need to get ourselves up to 100% lightning resist. So we are kind of pushing that, as you can see here. We are getting lightning res on everything. Our erosion res is a little bit trashed right now, and we haven't fully res capped everything, so we're still working on the gear. It's brand new. I haven't really decided what we're going with things yet. So as you can see, the plasticity or the gear itself is nothing special. Like, I don't think I have even I don't have even one T1 mod or T2 T0 mod on my gear at all. For the rings, what you are going to be trying to go for, you do want to get some Curse Effect on there if you can fit it in with the resistances. And then again, you're just going for the max ES for your for the defensive aspect of it. And then for the last thing, again, you'll just basically get some damage on here for your prefixes. For me, I ended up crafting a cold damage to attacks and spells because for mapping, I've been messing around with a frostbitten pedigree here. You don't need to be using this. This is like 400 FE. It's just something I was like, oh, I figure I'll add in the extra defense layer if I can. Gives me some extra basically damage while doing mapping because you're going to freeze everything for 1.5 seconds. So gives you a good defensive layer again, as well as everything is just going to be getting frozen, and then it's going to be taking 60% additional damage while frozen. If you don't have this, you don't need to craft the percent damage or flat damage to cold spells unless you're going to be using the Sage's Foresight gloves as well. Then you want to put like cold on one and fire on the other or whatever as well. In regards to the weapons, again, for mapping, I'm just using a memory, and then like I just made like a generic wand or a generic dagger here with double damage and some crit and ailment damage or whatever. Just 5 damage mods, it doesn't really matter. And then, yeah, same thing for the wands, basically. +2 to spells, you want Curse Effect, some double damage on there, additional damage from spells by spell burst, things like that, or just generic spell damage. It's all going to be good to go. In regards to the relics and memories, the one mod that you absolutely do need to get on your relic is this cannot become immune to shock. You need this one where you become immune to shock damage. The amount of base shock damage that you get from this doesn't really matter, so just buy the lowest tier you can get. Yeah, that's fine. And then same with the percent chance to trigger feline figure. It doesn't matter unless you're going to basically eventually move away from using the memory. If you're using this memory, you don't need the percent chance to trigger feline figure, so just get whatever other mod you want on there instead. Because we are using lightning fast here, which does just make it proc on its own. Oh, I guess it does still trigger, so we do still actually want that. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. We do still want the chance to trigger this on hit. We do need to get that. We do need to get this on the memories as well. So I will be upgrading the memories. I wouldn't recommend this. Just go with the chance to basically trigger feline figure on hit, as well as whatever you want. You can do this like dealing shock damage more times, or the having it settle shock more times is probably more damage. But I haven't fully thoroughly tested these yet, so I will have an update with that soon enough. But moving through, what we are looking for on the traits here, you do want to be running this Thunder one here, which is giving you % additional max damage for every time feline figure is settled recently. And then we are running Static Meteor here, which basically makes it to where it settles shock damage on us as well. And then we are running Wild Lightning here, which this is going to be the biggest chunk of your damage, just because, again, this is giving base shock damage up to 20% of the base damage of the hit, which is absolutely massive, as you can tell, which is why, again, we need to overcap our res to 100% in order to get the full effect out of that. In regards to the tree itself, we are going Goddess of Hunting. I went extra defensive with this, so as you can see, I have some points here in Max Life and Energy Shield. The build that I was following before, the Meow Enjoyer, he just went with more damage and basically took the shock chance here, and he didn't worry about any of the defenses, and he basically just stuck with a life setup for the most part, leveling up. I ended up going with this. I just like the more defensive setup with it, so that's what we're going with. And then for Blade Runner here, we have the same thing. You're just taking a little bit of damage here. We're not life-based. We're going ES-based. So I just take the damage here, and then we move over and grab the crit here, the energy shield here in the middle. I don't take the life again. We take the shock chance and the extra shock chance here. And then we take this movement speed, and movement speed bonuses are applied to the cooldown of mobility skills. That's a personal preference thing. You probably don't need this for Blink, but I put the points in there. More movement speed never feels bad, so that's fine. And we take this damage and the extra mana restored on hit here, and then I took the energy shield regain here. And then we're taking conductive here and Queer Angle. And then we are going in the Warlock tree here, and we're just basically grabbing the damage. We're grabbing the sealed mana. I didn't grab the life regen because, again, we're not life. So I grabbed the crit down here. This damage here and the additional ailment damage when a hit deals double damage. So that's where the double damage on the wands really comes in handy, because it does make the amount of ailment damage from your shock be increased because of that. And then we are taking the cooldown recovery speed as well as the damage and +1 here. I'm not high enough level yet to grab the blur movement speed here and the blur on defeat, but I will be grabbing those next. In regards to the slates, for what I'm running, I am running an insight slate. This is like the bossing setup here, with an additional spell damage, basically slate here. And then everything else is just a +1 lightning slate for the blue ones here. A +1 lightning with some additional damage stuff on it. So I got a +1 lightning here with some crit damage for every point of chaos, as well as just some energy shield recharge here. We're running a God of War's Divinity. This, you can just get this mod. I rolled this specifically for the I bought this with the 30% chance to gain any blessing, because I didn't feel like spending the money on a corner of Divinity. But if we ran a couple corners here for a couple of these, then we'd be able to run 3 corners instead of what we have in here. So we can squeeze a little bit more in there. It's just going to cost you a little bit more money to buy that over one of these slates instead. And then for the last one, we do have one of these Goddess of Hunting Divinities, which makes lightning skills settle shock damage an additional time. I don't know if this is even actually worth it. I'm going to have to test it, so don't spend too much money on these, but it should only cost you a couple FE if you do end up buying one. But I'm going to test it out more tomorrow, and then we will know for then. Yeah. So last thing, the skills themselves. We do have Chain Lightning here with Grudge, Lightning Penetration, Psychic Burst, Jump, and High Voltage. Then we have an Electrocute, Terrain Malice with Abysmal Hatred. I have Activation Medium Spell Bursts on here. You don't need these. I just like having less buttons to hit. These are like 100 FE each from when I bought them. So buy them if you want. Don't if you don't want to. If you want to maximize damage, you would be running Speed Phantom here. But I don't really care. So I am running Blink instead, just to be able to blink a little bit faster around. If you do end up running a Speed Phantom setup, you can actually run Mark on here as well if you want to, instead of the the thing that I just removed there. So keep that in mind. The thing with Speed Phantom is it does not get the cooldown recovery bonus thing. Even it doesn't have a mobility tag here, even though it's a mobility skill. So it doesn't get the bonus here on the tree from the Blade Runner thing here. The movement speed bonuses are applied to this. So you can see with Blink, my cooldown is literally just like incredibly fast. But whenever I swap over to Speed Phantom, you really feel the difference here. You're feeling it quite a bit more. It's quite a bit slower, so I haven't been running it, but it's all going to come down to personal preference again. If you're trying to maximize damage, then you're going to want to run Speed Phantom here. With the Mark, you can run a Blind on there as well, or just another Magic Dash if you want to just add extra things on there. So run whatever you want. And then I have, again, Arcane Circle with a Spell Burst, Activation Medium Spell Burst, and then a Mania and an Extended Duration here. And then we have our second curse here again with another Activation Medium Spell Burst. For your auras, I'm running Elemental Amplification here with Stand as One Selfishness and Aura Amp, Precise Elemental Resistance. This is like 1,000 FE. Buy it if you can afford it. It is absolutely worth it. It gives you insane defenses. Again, you saw my max res is over 75%. So you're getting maximum very good effects out of this with all the aura effect scaling that you're getting. So this is really big. It really makes gearing a lot easier because you're getting a ton of LE res from this as well. Highly recommend it for everyone. And then we have electric conversion here, and we have energy fortress on our life. We could probably get away with sealing electric conversion instead, but I haven't bothered to do it because we have the mana anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. For the candles right now, I'm just running cooldown recovery and elemental resistance. Because we're using chain lightning, obviously more jumps is going to be more damage. So if you do want to maximize damage, then it's going to be jump and curse effect is going to be your best for your damage on your candles. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you want to check any coverage of the mapping on this, you can just basically look over the stream from today. I was playing this all day, or just pop into the stream tomorrow and you can come take a look as well and ask any questions if you have them. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And other than that, see you in the next one.